The Lockdown Board Meetings 2020. Written by Martin Hesketh. Read by Derek Johnston. (26) RLT Attack. 26th Lockdown Board Meeting, Wednesday, 15th April 2020. In attendance, me, Chair. Spud II, Head of Cat Department. Spencer, Head of Bigger Dog Department. Ada, Head of Smaller Dog Department. Horny Frank, Head of Horny Rabbit Department. Beardy, Head of Not So Horny Rabbit Department. Apologies, none. Call to order 0600 hours. 1. There were sufficient members for a quorum. 2. Minutes of previous meeting approved. 3. Business from last meeting, none. 4. Statement from the Chair. Boris is negative now, so that's good. Boris's mate Rishi says that lockdown will be blamed for the coming economic crash, so that's handy. Boris's mate Rishi also stated that he wants to be honest about what's coming, so that's good. Mr. Trump stated that the WHO are tremendously useless and he's not paying them anymore, so that's interesting. 5. Business updates. 5.1 Joint update from Horny Frank and Beardy. Horny Frank and Beardy were both playing in the garden area by the old shed during their quality time indoors. Only it was outdoors because they weren't brought indoors this time. Anyway, they were nibbling away on the lovely green grass when all of a sudden, out from under the old shed appeared loads of longtails. They had nasty, evil intent in their poky wee eyes. They were vicious looking, and you could tell that they wanted to give us what for. There were far too many for us to deal with, but we stood our ground and we were ready for battle. Spud heard our battle cry and came to assist. 5.2 Spud. Spud stated that he had been relaxing in the kitchen area just by the cat flap, having a mid-afternoon snoozette, when suddenly he heard this almighty scream, then more screams. It sent chills down his spine. He quickly got himself together and headed out through the cat flap, past the chair's crispy dry table and into the garden area, where he saw Horny Frank and Beardy hopping about all over the show. It was class. When they eventually calmed down, they said they saw longtails coming out from under the old shed. Spud stated that he went straight to the old shed and secured the area, but he couldn't see anything. 5.3 Ada. Ada stated that she was also having a mid-afternoon snoozette when first she heard Spud banging through the cat flap, then realised there was a lot of screaming coming from the garden area. She immediately realised that something was amiss and followed behind Spud, out the cat flap, past the chair's crispy dry table and headed straight to ground zero. As Spud was securing the old shed, Ada headed past the old shed, over to the perimeter area and straight into the railway verge area. There was no sign of the longtails. No doubt they got away, Ada added, down into their sneaky underground tunnels and were probably in Uptown by then. Ada added that she headed back to the old shed and helped Spud secure the area. 5.4 Spencer. Spencer stated that the kitchen door was closed as usual, and as he can't fit through the cat flap, he couldn't do anything, but said that there was definitely a racket going on outside in the garden area. Spencer asked both Horny Frank and Beardy, how many longtails did you actually see? Horny Frank said loads, jumping and snarling with their nasty claw-like teeth and devil eyes. Horny Frank stated that he tried to grab one and give it what for, but they were too fast. Beardy indicated that he's not exactly sure how many longtails he saw. Spencer insisted. Was it 1, 2, 5, 10? Beardy replied that he didn't actually see any. He was munching away at the lovely green grass when Horny Frank jumped and shouted, "Longtails! Longtails!" and was looking in the direction of the old shed. They must have legged it when they saw Horny Frank's war dance. So, just to be clear, Spencer asked, only Horny Frank actually saw the longtails. Ada interrupted
The RLT were spotted, and that's all we need to know to escalate this situation. It's undeniable that the RLT are upping the gameplay now, and we need to retaliate ASAP.
Spencer stated he's all for upping the gameplay too, but we need to be sure that this was the dissidents and not just a family of longtails out for their legitimate daily exercise and got lost. 6. Other business, none.